How's it going guys, Tatsumi here back again for another video. First, I just want to share to you guys that I haven't watched the live Crunchyroll Expo lately, cause that time, I need to go to work and a lot of stuff to do. But what I gathered information from friend is that the global finally having the real-time PvP. What's sad about this is that they didn't set the exact date when this drop in global. And also I found that they also giving us a 100 free crystals. And also there is written that the Phantom Snipers will start this coming August 18. I'm actually not ready about this. Cause my crystals is pretty low at the moment. But if Heart is the first banner, I'm actually going to pull for him cause I'm lacking of Arts Gen unit. As of now, I only have Rosetta and Mako as my Arts Gen unit. And there are so many things to do in GS right now, including mines. I have to farm items, especially for max limit break. These are the items I got in the past mines event, as you can see most of them are not max limit yet. And also the CTB revival event, make sure to farm for these exchangeable items. So yeah. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I hope you do, just click the subscribe button and turn the notification bell for more videos like this in the future. Okay, without being said, let's start. For today's video we're going to talk about the mines equipment, especially on the 5 best equipment that are really worth to farm. These are the boss lists that appear in mines, each of them drops a special item and has special effect on it. It's either it consumes you allies' HP or a passive that reduces your defense. These item has a unique skill and abilities, but some of them are really trash and some of them are really useful in terms of nuking battles and also good in sustaining damage. A little disclaimer here, these are just my personal opinions, so if you have any suggestion or opinion, do feel free to comment down below. So let's begin from the lowest, down to the top most priority equipment. Number 5. Elflem Garb, it's a 5-star magic. This item drops by Omega Yagetsu. I placed this on the top 5 cause I see it's a decent item, a low CT, and also good item for both fire and dark. It reduces the enemy's fire and dark resistance, and stackable. I think this item is the best item for Liza, especially if you have Juno in the party, and Juno will benefit the dark resistance to the enemy, and Liza has the highest equipment CT reduction, so you can stack the effect to the enemy. I think you can stack up to 5 to 6 stacks. This item is one of the best defensive item for both dark and fire units. The only downside of these item is that cost arts gauge by 20 and a 20% HP and also reduces your defense by 20%. It's not really that bad cause this item is main for long-term battles and all you need is a tank and a healer, but Liza has the 4-star heal. So you don't have to worry about healer. So yeah, I think this item deserved the spot. And next, number 4. Our number 4 item is none other than the Holy Necklace. This item drops by the normal Palamisha, a 4-star support. Mainly used in nuke battles. It gives 50 arts gauge to allies and reduces the user's own art gauge by 50. I think this item is the best 4-star support item for nuke battles and also good in long-term battles, and it has a 10% water resistance. Low CT at 50 seconds when max limit break. Main equipped by support units. To be honest, I always use this item on Shady because she has the most epic support item slot in game, especially on nuke battles, like the Ignis Crest Palace. If you haven't watched this video, I will leave the link in the description below. It's the Ignis nuke by Duran. I used 2 mines items in the video. If you haven't watched, I highly recommend you guys to watch. So yes, I think this item deserved the number 4 spot. Because it boosts your allies' arts gauge and it can be used in nuke and also in long-term battles. Let's move on the next list. Number 3. Our third item is the Despair Vine, mainly dropped by this boss, Omega Moldora. It's the earth boss that has high defense. I placed this item on the number 3 because it gives the highest amount of damage buff specially for earth units. And not just for earth units, but also for other element, because it also gives 80% attack. Definitely the best free damage booster item in game right now, and also has low CT when max limit break. The only downside of this item is a solo buff, only buff the user and reduces your arts gauge by 50, but you can actually evade this effect by popping your true arts first, then pop this item next to that true arts. So you can boost your damage and attack without losing any arts gauge. It's kinda tricky to use, but may be useful in nukes and for some long-term battle. And I suggest you guys to have at least 3 to 4 duplicates of these items because this item is really worth to farm. And yes, I think this one deserves in the 3rd spot of the list. because this item is really good, especially if you're free to play and looking for high damage buff item, this item will be the one that you should farming. Next on the list are these two items that are pretty decent and worth to farm and max limit break. None other than Sacred Gryph and Silent Treasure. This is the best free to play item in the game so far. I leave these two items on the screen to let you guys decide which one is the number one priority item. And let us know by commenting in this video. So first, let's talk about the Sacred Gryph. Sacred Gryph is mainly dropped by the subject B3. This item is the best item for any unit that has 4-star physical slot like Mako, Shuri, Rem, and Orbital. Because it gives a 2 arts gauge per second, boost your attack, and has low CT for 10 seconds. It's like having a passive 2 arts gem to the user, and by using its skill, it costs 25% of your HP, and a passive decreases the user's HP by 15%. It doesn't really that big deal losing HP if you are covered by a taunt tank. What most important to this item is the skill effect. It sustains the user overtime arts gauge and increases the user attack, which is one of the best free-to-play 4-star physical item in game so far. And I suggest keep at least 4 of this item because maybe in the future content of GS they might be useful. Next one is the 5-star support item, the Silent Treasure. Mainly dropped by Omega Palamisha, it's a tough boss. You'll need to paralyze her in order to take damage. But the main price is this item, which is one of the best free-to-play item that you can only get in mines, and it also stacks with the other support items like Guko Uniform or the Ram and Ram plushie. It has a low CT and increases all allies' arts gauge by 35 by the cost of all allies 15% HP. I think that 15% HP cost is probably the downside of this item. Why most player are not recommend using this in long-term battles. Maybe because of the skill effect, and you could have used this item when one of your party units' HP is lower than 15%, that unit will die instantly. It also affect to all tanks, even the taunting barrier is active. If the tank's HP is lower than 15%, it will kill it. So be careful using this item. Unlike the Hater Gryph, no matter how much your HP is, it will not kill you. But most of the time, this item Silent Treasure is mainly used for nukes because it boosts your party critical damage by 30% and has a passive 10% attack to the user. With that, these are the 5 best items that you should farming right now. Max their limit and keep in your inventory because these items will remain relevant and useful for most of the game contents. So I hope these guide is good for you or helpful for you in terms of what you should farming. I think that's gonna do for today's video. For the next video is all about what is the best effective way to farm items in mines. I'll give you tips and advice. And I hope you like this video if you found helpful. And subscribe if you're new. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next one. Later.